So yesterday when I was making the pumpkin jig, I ruined my old jig for the bike emblems. So I had to go find another scrap piece of wood. So I think I'll use this guy and try to work on some emblems today. See how far I get. This is my old tester piece, and you can definitely tell that I screwed up many times. So I'm just gonna flip it over, and voila, more room to work. Alright, locked and loaded. This seems all too familiar. And now I just have to change the end mill and we'll be cranking. Alright, so I have our 2 polygon test up again, and I'm just going to do like the basic touch off test because I think I might have messed up the Z touch plate button the other day when I was fooling around with the house stuff. So I'm just going to get that going again and see how it works out. So this time I'm actually going to set my home in the top left corner like a normal person instead of homing to the center like I've been doing. And I just marked it with a Sharpie where the home's going to be. So as we can see from the DRO here, there's a G54 offset. You can see there and there. So I need to get that back to 0 and that to 0. So, based on what we learned yesterday, I think I can run this command. See what happens. Can't issue MDI command when not homed. Okay, so Z is not homed yet. So, I'm going to move Z up a little bit. And it looks good. I'll just call that Z home. Alright, now let's run the command and see what happens. So, actually, I'm going to run this one. You know what? I'm pausing. I'm going to go back and look at the manual again, see which one I actually need to run. So, as a reminder, just the Linux CNC docs, and then you go to important user concepts, and then when you're lost, which is perfect for me, there it is. So that'll move it to the origin. The G53 code will, and then G92 will clear, or G92.1 will clear any G92 offset. And then I think what I want is actually set the G54 coordinate system to be the same as the machine coordinate system with G10 L2 P1 XO YO ZO RO. So I think that's the one I need to run. So I'm going to try that first. So go back here. It already still has it loaded up in the MDI commands. Okay, cool. So there we go. Everything's at 0 again. So I think I'm good. Now I can do the touch off, see what happens. So I'm going to just move this thing so it actually hits the touch off plate. By the way, I had it like on micro stepping. I feel like in the future I need to like, I don't know, I think I can speed this thing up by changing the configuration in the controller. It's super slow. Get the Z down a little bit closer because the Z touch plate doesn't actually go too far in the programming, the G code of it. So I'm going to hit Z touch plate now. So I went to hit Z touch plate and I got an error, so I need to debug that. So I found out the error was coming from, not sure what's going on with this text editor today, but I figured out that it was coming because the error was coming because I didn't have a subroutine path in my INI file, so I had to go into Shoreline Mill and add the subroutine path, so I wasn't actually able to find the routines. That'll do it. And what happened is the INI got updated when I updated or went through the step conf the other day, just configuring stuff. So got to re-update that based on the customizations. Done. All right, so I've re-homed everything back to my spot, and everything's still at 0. G54 is at 0. Good, good, good. Now I'm gonna move over and do the touch plate. Try to. All right, I'm gonna hit Z touch plate again. Actually, I'm going to just check the tool probe. Yep, good, still working. And here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's a good sign. Started moving. Hit it. Now it's going lower, slower. Cool. So, remove the tool, click continue, move that. So, that's kind of weird. That's not what I wanted. Interesting. So, it essentially was, that's what I put in there. So it was trying to go to G0, or G0 should just pause the program, I thought. So it was trying to do G1 Z minus 857. So I'm not sure what happened there. So I'm downloading this Python text editor called Eric, and it's free, so that I can figure out what the heck's going on with my HAL manual tool change. So I added a custom HAL manual tool change, and now I'm just trying to figure out like what all these different things are. So actually I know what this is, so we can just go ahead and go down the rabbit hole now. So TKINTER, so this is essentially the Python interface for TK, which is a GUI toolkit that was originally built for TCL or Tickle, the tool command language. I think that's what it is. Let's see here. Let's go double check that. Yep, tool command language. So at tickle.tk, you can read all about it, which you don't really need to in order to program an interface for Linux CNC, but you do actually need to know about TKINTER, or TKINTER, which is TK, it's an acronym for TK interface, essentially. So I'll actually add this documentation in the description, but we're essentially, well, I need to essentially create a dialog box now, because the manual tool change is skipping, or it's not working well with my tool touch, the touch off routines. So I'm gonna have to write my own little user-defined M code that launches the dialog box that then allows me to go to absolute 0 after a tool change. Because what's happening now and what happened earlier was that it was actually trying to start the file routine, so the part routine essentially, instead of going and doing the Z0 step that I need in order to get absolute 0. So that's that. Hopefully that made sense. I'm going to try to explain them a little bit more in a second. Alright, so I just did apt-get install Eric, and now I have the Eric Python IDE. Interesting. An error to start there. Not quite sure what the deal with that was. Anyway, we'll give this a shot. So unfortunately today was kind of a bust. Realized that the touch plate file is no longer working because of an update that I did to the manual tool change. So I went down the process, or went down the road of like trying to make my own user-defined M code, and in doing so, like I wrote a script that is supposed to like launch a dialog, and I had to learn a little bit more about TK and TK interface. And at this point, I don't really know enough about TK interface, so I think tomorrow is probably going to end up be learning more about TK interface so that I can get this dialog box working, so that I can get it to pause, so that I can do a manual change and have it automatically after the touch off happens. I need it to go to the absolute 0, and so like right now it's skipping that step. So I feel like the user-defined M codes is going to be the right method, but I just haven't quite gotten the dialog box to launch yet. So I will share my notes from today in the description, so check them out. Definitely have some good links from doing some research on what's in the manual tool change script that I think will help, and talk to you tomorrow. Alright, so reading a bit more about TKINTER, I ended up getting my user-defined M code to work. Well, it still needs a lot of testing, but now at least I can get a dialog box to pop up and disappear. So essentially, let me show you here. I ended up with this right here. And I'll definitely share this once it's complete. But I ended up reading this TKINTER tutorial that I'll also include in the description. Helped out pretty good. So cool. Just wanted to follow up. I think that's about it for me today. I need to do some more debugging on this and then test it tomorrow. But happy to see a dialog finally.